Good evening to distinguished members of our Common Council, elected officials, all of our department leaders that are here tonight, our city employees, but most importantly, my fellow residents of the city of New Britain. It's my honor to be before you this evening to deliver the annual State of the City address. I'm proud to report that after 10 years, we've entered a new era. We're growing, we're confident, and we're anxiously awaiting the boundless opportunities that await us. The pride and promise of New Britain is back. The state of our city is strong, and the possibilities for our beehive are endless. Now, I always say you can't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. So if you'll indulge me, I want to take a quick look back to when I was first elected mayor, a very different place than what you see now. We were dangling perilously from a fiscal cliff. Community pride was almost non-existent. Downtown was an economic dead zone, lacking even a single place to find a cup of coffee. Vagrant activity and public drug use were stifling investment and development. Mismanagement from failed leadership was obvious. We were on the verge of a state takeover, and we were the punchline of everyone's jokes across Connecticut. But then something happened. We stood up, we fought back, collectively as a community. We came together and we demanded better. We refused to take the crumbs that others once thought they could give us, like these development projects that only consisted of dollar stores, laundromats, or package stores. We invested in ourselves to make our community more attractive and more marketable. We embraced real development opportunities. We did the good hard work and put in the long hours to change our reputation, and it worked. Together, we raised the standard for ourselves and demanded others do the same, and we're reaping those rewards right now. Because of our collective buy-in, this community has undoubtedly changed for the better. It took 10 long years to get here, but we've entered into a new era for our great city. All you have to do is look around to see it. Together, we're setting the standard on how the government should work. We consistently lead through bipartisan collaboration, focused most of all on the common good, not on politics. We're the example for the state of Connecticut, and the proof is in the pudding. While other communities across the state struggle to get anything meaningful accomplished, and they're locked in partisan, endless bickering, here in New Britain, we continue to grow, and we continue to make progress. And while our city is finally back on track, I think it's important to note that this government, that my administration, is acutely aware of the persistent struggles many members of our community continue to face in our new normal post-pandemic lives. The past few years, residents have been plagued by the high cost of living, and I'm certainly not naive to that fact myself, because like you, I've felt the pinch of grocery store prices, the rising cost of gas and essentials, the expenses associated with a growing family. We're seeing increases in the price of almost everything. The only thing that might not have increased is the hot dog at Costco, who, by the way, are finally paying their full tax assessment this year. But across the board, we're paying more, and government is not immune. Unfortunately, stacked on top of the challenges burdened on us from Hartford, like budget cuts, an inadequate pilot formula, and a nearly $6 million loss from the motor vehicle tax reimbursement this year, the cost of doing business is just increasing. It's a reality that we need to be prepared for if we want to continue the success we've seen in the last 10 years. Now, despite these facts and new realities, I want you to know that I remain committed to running a government that prioritizes our needs versus our wants. A government committed to fiscal discipline, one that works its hardest to keep costs low. And as your mayor, my first priority will always be to you, the taxpayer. But in true New Britain fashion, we will roll up our sleeves, we'll do the good hard work, and we'll find creative solutions that will allow us to capitalize on the new normal economic state. We'll do what we do best in New Britain, count on ourselves, and only ourselves, and figure it out together. I truly believe that one can be an innovative thinker that implements progressive policy through a conservative approach and direction. It is this exact mentality that has allowed us to see success over the last decade. This approach will ensure that our residents get the high quality of life that they deserve here, with a government that thinks before it acts. One that has the emotional intelligence to process the results of an action before governing on reaction to whatever may be the hot button issue of the moment. The quality of life for our residents is my first and last thought every day, and I remain committed to doing all in my power to improve it across the board. So on that note, let's take a brief look at the progress of this past year. It was only a couple short years ago when I stood up here to deliver this very same address and chose to publicly shed light on what so many of us had known for many years. That while everything around us was succeeding, our school system was failing. But I'm proud to say that that is no longer the case. Through increased communication, a renewed relationship between the district and the city, under new direction from Dr. Tony Gasper, the Consolidated School District of New Britain is making noticeable improvements and strides forward. And as a mom of 2 kids that will soon go to the New Britain School District, I couldn't be more pleased. Under Dr. Gasper's back to basics approach to academic success, his staff is closing the gap between the percent of students 2 years below grade level in reading and getting students back on track and on target. And while there's still progress to be made, they're moving the needle in the right direction. In schools across the district, students have been moved out of what is considered the emergency level of illiteracy and are now on their way to reading at a grade level. For example, Chamberlain moved 50% of second grade students and 36% of third grade students out of the yellow zone and into the green zone, meaning that they're now reading at grade level. 50% of second grade students at De Loretto, 71% of second grade students at Holmes, and 40% of second grade students at Gaffney were moved from not being proficient readers at all to now reading at grade level. Additionally, attendance is up district-wide. We are down in chronically absent students by over 3% across the board, including a decrease of almost 10% in chronically absent first graders and a decrease of 8% in chronically absent 7th graders. This is extremely important because regardless of the instructional improvements teachers make, our children can't learn if they're not in school. Now, Dr. Gasper calls these his islands of excellence, small but meaningful data points that are showing that our district is moving forward. And again, I couldn't be prouder of the work they are collectively doing to move the needle forward. On the city side, we're investing in our most precious commodity, our children. And we remain committed to making sure teachers and students have safe, modern facilities that are equipped to meet the demands of our education systems. This past year, we celebrated the completion of Chamberlain Elementary School. And this coming year, we'll break ground on the $70 million renovation of Holmes Elementary School. Investing in the physical environment students learn in will only enhance improvements to the curriculum that Dr. Gasper and his team are currently implementing. Now, Dr. Gasper and I meet on a regular basis, working together to make sure that our teachers are supported, that our parents are given a voice, and that our students have access to the quality education they need to be successful not just in the classroom, but beyond. And when our students reach graduation, my goal is to leave them a city that they want to continue to call home. Now, anyone who has driven through New Britain recently will know that the landscape of our town is transforming right before our eyes in ways that we haven't seen in decades. Jack Benjamin, Scott Williams, and our amazing team in the Planning and Development Office are working tirelessly to make New Britain the prime destination to live, work, play, and invest. We continue to create a diverse portfolio of housing options for our current residents, a little bit of something for everyone. Maybe something for those who might want to call New Britain home for the first time as well. New projects like the Brit and the High Railer are helping make our downtown a premier destination in central Connecticut. And when these projects are completed this year, they'll bring nearly 300 brand new units to the heart of our community, boosting our local economy, increasing revenue streams, adding jobs, and amassing opportunity. The block-by-block transformation continues with the renovation of the old Landers, Ferry, and Clark building. It will now be known as the Ellis Block. This will result in about 150 units for those seeking affordable or senior housing options. And let's not forget the redevelopment of Mount Pleasant, too. This is going to be a transformative project, bringing 343 brand new affordable housing units, which will mark a new, bright beginning for hundreds of our residents. Homeownership remains a dream for so many, and we want to make sure that dream can become a reality right here in the city of New Britain. This year, over on the east side, we'll see the completion of 11 brand new single-family homes where the old St. Thomas Aquinas High School once stood. These homes will improve the quality of life of the surrounding neighborhood, expand our tax base, and most importantly, allow first-time home buyers the chance to put down roots here in our city. Furthermore, our city has maintained its commitment to improving neighborhood quality by doubling our efforts at combating blight. The ongoing work of our Blight Task Force, led by Sergio Lupo and his team in the Building and Health Department, is identifying problem properties, aggressively pursuing abusers, and enforcing remediation. We will no longer stand for eyesores that are unsafe and properties that negatively impact our neighbors. To support our new, improved, and ever-growing housing stock, we're making significant infrastructure improvements to ensure we're capable of supporting the current and future growth of our city. Under the direction of Mark Moriarty and Ray Esponda, the Water Department is implementing the multi-phase NB Flush program. It's a $90 million investment that will fix some of the oldest stormwater and sewer lines in the city, making it safer and healthier for all of us. We continue to invest in our Complete Streets projects. These are safety and aesthetic improvements to key areas of our city, with major projects slated for the corridors of John Downey Drive and Arch Street on the horizon. Additionally, we're completing work on our new $20 million public works yard that will be opening up this spring, and our fiber project partnership with Go NetSpeed, a major investment that helps bridge the digital divide by providing affordable, high-speed internet options to most of our residents. And I have to thank John Delgadillo, our Director of Support Services, for overseeing these massive, massive projects. The New Britain Park System continues to be the envy of the region. Under the direction of our Parks and Recreation Director, Eric Barbieri, we continue to invest in our parks so that residents throughout our city have access to premier recreational spaces. This year, we'll be celebrating the completion of the $10.5 million overhaul of Osgood Park, which will turn the entire area into an outdoor recreation destination for the north end of town. We also recently completed the Stanley Park Pond Dredging Project, as well as Phase 2 of the Stanley Loop Trail, which connects the walking trail at Stanley Quarter to the path at AW. Now, as the result also of a generous partnership with the local Rotary Club, I can confirm that the first set of paddle boats have been ordered and will be making their triumphant return to the pond this summer. In Mr. Barbieri's department, the New Britain Recovers initiative, overseen by Mallory Dupre and our dedicated community services staff, continues to offer a hand up to our most vulnerable residents struggling to find a path back to a healthy, happy lifestyle. This initiative connects the city's opioid task force, our Building Hope Together task force on homelessness, and the local prevention council under one program that allows us to provide an efficient and effective holistic service approach that helps those struggling with the often interconnected issues of addiction, mental health, and homelessness. And while we realize that there are people out there still struggling and that there is always work to be done, we should be proud of the progress that we've made in this area. I think the governor said it best just a few weeks ago when he was here, that we are the model that other communities look to, and this program is saving lives each and every day. Last year alone, Mary Floyd, our homelessness prevention and housing coordinator, and our partners involved with New Britain Recovers provided information to over 700 residents on matters including homelessness, homeless prevention, security deposits, and landlord and tenant rights and responsibilities. They were able to actually prevent homelessness for 97 households, including 20 households that were victims of fire. They distributed over 400 bus passes to allow people experiencing or at risk of homelessness to get to work, training, or educational opportunities. Under the leadership of Chief Baxter, New Britain EMS has had all of their paramedics trained in recovery coaching and has also designated additional staff to provide life-saving education to the community. Those from the Navigator program, another critical piece of the New Britain Recovers initiative, have distributed 564 Narcan kits in the last year, equipping our residents with the ability to save the life of someone who is overdosing. Our EMS first responders last year made over 1,000 referrals to our community partners, and 49 people chose to be enrolled in a recovery program beyond what is initially offered through the New Britain Recovers initiative. The New Britain Youth Prevention Council, an important piece of New Britain Recovers, has doubled in its size. The teenagers who make up this group are now trained to educate their peers on prevention and have taught over 400 of their friends across the city on various topics like Narcan administration, the harms of vaping, positive peer choices, and more. Prevention is most effective when our kids are exposed to it as early as possible. So New Britain Recovers partnered with Chief Marino, Deputy Chief Rembish, and the New Britain Police Department to have some of our officers trained in a school-based prevention program that we call the Be Responsible program. New Britain police officers have been teaching this program in all 5th grade classrooms district-wide, resulting in 800 5th grade students getting exposed to information on how to live a healthy, substance-free lifestyle. And finally, I want to give a special shout out this year to Chief Raul Ortiz for his persistent work in setting a new course and changing the culture at the New Britain Fire Department. I'm so proud of all Chief Ortiz has accomplished during his time here with our city. This past year alone, he oversaw firefighters as they responded to over 7,000 calls, and some of those very, very difficult situations. He presided over the graduation of the very first class from our own New Britain Fire Academy. He celebrated the new ladder truck coming onto service for Station 2. His department secured over $1 million in grants. They established the New Britain Fire Department Fire Explorers program to help benefit our youth and continued to ensure his department's commitment to being involved and being an integral part in our community. Chief, I thank you for your work and dedication. The progress is noticeable and it is extremely appreciated. Now, as we look to the year ahead, my administration will remain resolutely committed to our neighborhood-focused goals aimed at maintaining and enhancing the high quality of life that our residents in every corner of this city deserve, while of course maintaining fiscal discipline. We will remain passionately progressive in our approach, but yet cautiously conservative in our management. We will continue to put the common good above politics, ensuring that we remain committed to implementing policies and engaging in projects that are purely in the best interest of those who call New Britain home. We will continue to set the standard on how government should work. Now, as I articulated earlier, we've entered a new era, an era of promise and possibility. New Britain is back. We have reemerged. Our collective work together has brought us to this point. We're a community on the rise, and from where I'm standing, the opportunities seem endless. And while the accomplishments and positive changes we've been able to achieve together are certainly impressive, the work is never really done. It falls upon us to safeguard and perpetuate this era of prosperity indefinitely. And herein lies our charge. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you to our amazing staff here at City Hall. I'm forever grateful for your ongoing support and confidence in my leadership. Serving as your mayor continues to be the honor of my lifetime. May God bless you all, and may he continue to bless the great city of New Britain. Thank you.